Heavy hitters Fiorentina top of the table over in the Conference League as we entered match day number 3, that's right. Who, of course, will make up some ground this coming match day. We're going to get into that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. It is match number 3 over in the Conference League, and we'll get to it in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe, your subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, Conference League, whoa, football, we're going to all here under one Ruski. That's right, we're heading into match number 3 right now, with, of course, lots of still unanswered questions for this, of course, European competition, who, of course, will get full advantage and get a big fat win on the docket. We'll get into all of that in a second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons, you know who you are. And, of course, can we get a like target of, let's go 40 likes on this bad boy. So let's get into the deep end. And, of course, we're talking about this. It is the Conference League. And, of course, we are looking back, first and foremost, to these. That's right. These were my predictions, as you see it. Did all right on some of them, did terrible on others. Big shout outs to Lincoln Red Imps with a big 2-1 win over Lech Poznan. Nobody saw that one coming. Aberdeen getting tonked by Athens. Didn't see that one coming either. But if I go through them, some cherry pick them as well. Other ones, Hamrun Spartans came close. Meanwhile, just the one they lost there. Yeah, Crystal Palace got beat as well at home against Larnaca, which was a major surprise. But yeah, I'm not going to go through them one by one. If you want to look at it, take a snapshot and go back into it. But this is the table as of right now. Aberdeen struggling, as are Shamrock, Rovers and Hamrun Spartans. Into the middle of the pack, we've got the likes of AZ, Alkmaar, Palace are in there, AEK Athens and Strasbourg. But in the top 8, let's go through it. Of course, it is still early days, only 2 games in, but we do have a Rakow, Czestochowa there, Rayo, Vallecano. We have Mainz, Samsunspor, Lausanne-Sport, Celje, Larnaca. But top of the pops, it is Fiorentina heading into match number 3. Now, of course, that could all change because we got a full fixture list right on our agenda. I'm going to start with a trip to Germany, that is right. And it's Mainz up against Fiorentina. Let's get into this one then, shall we? Bo Henriksen's Mainz are 6th right now. 6 points for them. Just 1 win in the last 5 competitions. 5 matches in all competitions. Against Fiorentina, top of the table, of course, 6 points for 6. Just 1 win in 5 as well. These two sides yet to play each other. But coming into this, Mainz are on the back of a 2-0 loss to Stuttgart. That was in the DFB Pokal. Fiorentina losing to Inter this past midweek as well. Now, looking at the odds for this, of course, coming at midweek action, we have Mainz. They are favoured for the victory here. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw right down the middle. Point in the bag, which of course keeps at Fiorentina. And I think Mainz unbeaten. Let's get to Shakhtar Donetsk now as they take on, they are taking on Breidablik. That's right, of course, Shakhtar under Arda Turan sits 17th right now, 3 points for them. They have just 1 win in the last 5. Against the Breidablik side out of Iceland, Ulfur Skulkerson, just 1 defeat in the last 4. They sit 30th with just the 1 point. Again, just like the previous, yet to play each other, these two sides. Breidablik are on the back of a 3-2 win over Stars, man. As for Shakhtar Donetsk, they crashed out of the Ukraine Cup, losing 2-1 to Dynamo Kiev and a big heavy hitter. Coming into this one, the bookies odds, they'll go with Shakhtar. I think I'm going that way as well. 2-0 winners for the hosts to make it a win for them. Meanwhile, Cups, they're taking on Slovan Bratislava. That's right, also coming at you. All these games are so far the early kickoffs on the 6th of November. Cups, of course, coming at you out of Finland. Rakow sit 25th right now. Back-to-back draws in this competition. They're unbeaten in at least the last 9 matches against Slovan Bratislava under Vladimir Weiss. So in the dugouts, we have Rakow and Vladimir Weiss, of course. They have played just the one time. It was, of course, back in the Europa League qualification, back in COVID year. Resulted in a penalty shootout. Cups coming out on top in that one. Cups are on the back of a draw against Gristan. As for Slovan Bratislava, they did win 3-2 this past midweek over in their domestic top flight. The bookies will back the away side here. I'm going to go with a win for them as well. 2-1 win. Slovan Bratislava over Cups. Let's go to Celje as they take on Legia also in the early kickoffs. Celje under Albert Riera. They sit 3rd right now. 6 points for them. That's, of course, back-to-back wins. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Legia Warsaw under Edward Ionescu. They're all the way down to 18th right now. 3 points for them. Just 1 win in the last 6. Never played each other, these two sides coming into this. But Celje on the back of a big 4-0 win in their domestic competition up against Legia Warsaw, crushed out of their cup, so not good form for them. Bookies will back the away side here. I think that's a bit tight here. I'm going to go with a draw right down the middle for me on this one. Sparta Prague, they're taking on Rakow Czestochowa, that's right. Both doing their own thing towards the top end of the table. I'm trying to find it. There it is. Still one of the early kickoffs. Coming out on the 6th, it's Brian Prisky in charge of Sparta Prague. They sit 15th. Just one defeat in the last 6. Up against Kraskovia and the Manak Pazban. They sit 8th right now. 4 points for them. Just one defeat in the last 6. Again, never played each other, these two sides. Sparta Prague on the back of a win over Bohemians Prague this past midweek against Kraskovia, who do beat Craiova Rakow in the Polish Cup. 3-0 this week as well. The bookies odds, well, this one will back they're going to back the hosts, of course. They should do as well. Going to go with the 2-0 win, backing the Czech outfit. Let's go to Larnaca now. That's over in Cyprus as they take on Aberdeen. That's right. Larnaca flying high on the little indexes. They sit second, 6 points for them, just one defeat in the last 6. Up against Aberdeen and Jimmy Tillin, they are 36, rock bottom, no points for them, but they won 3 out of the last 6 matches in all competitions. Now, they have never played each other, according to my data. Larnaca on the back of a cup final victory over Paphos, where they won a penalty shootout there. Up against Aberdeen, they did pick up a 1-0 win over Kilmarnock most recently. That was in a midweek fixture list in Scotland. The bookies will back Larnaca on this one, who have started off this Conference League in tip-top shape. Got them winning this one in my eyes as well. 2-1 once again to make it another all-important win for Larnaca, who hope to get a little closer to securing a spot in the knockout stages. Go to Noah then as they take on Sigma Olomouc. That's right, I can't find him on here. Must be one of the later kickoffs. Where are you? There, I just clocked it. No, Yerevan, that's right. Coming at you with Sandro Perkovic in charge. 10th of the table, 4 points for them. Unbeaten in at least the last 9 games. Up against Olomouc under Thomas Jakondova. Just one defeat in the last 6, but they've drawn 4 of those last 6. Actually, in fact, drawn 3 in the bounce. They played never, these two sides, coming into this. Olomouc on the back of 3 successive draws of course, drawing last time around against Kraskovia. As for No Yerevan, they picked up a draw as well against University Craiova as well. So a lot of familiar sounding names there, of course, in this competition. But the bookies will back Noah Yerevan for the victory at home. I've gone with a 1-0 win as well to side with the bookies. Once again, let's go to Samsunspor over in Turkey as they take on Spartans coming out of Malta. Thomas Reis is 4th right now with 6 points, back-to-back wins for the Turkish outfit, unbeaten in at least the last 8. Up against the Spartans and the Giacomo Modica, they sit 32nd, of course, without a win. Actually, just one win in the last 5 matches. Of course, the most recent match for Spartans was a 3-1 win over Floriana. Samsunspor on the back of a draw against Rizespor in the Superliga over in Turkey. The bookies will back Samsunspor, as will I, as will you. 3-0 winners, Samsunspor taking it. Meanwhile, AEK Athens going to be taking on Shamrock Rovers. That's coming at you over in Greece. That is right. Still early kickoff on the 6th. Marko Nikolovic there for Athens. 12th of the table, 3 points for them. They've won 3 and they lost 3 over the last 6 matches. Up against Shamrock Rovers, Stephen Bradley's in charge. Just 1 win in 5. They sit 33rd. No points on the board so far. Coming into this, they've yet to play each other. These two sides, AEK Athens, on the back of that 1 win over Iopoli, over in the Greek Super Group Cup, I think, last midweek. Shamrock Rovers also on the back of a win, 1 win over Galway United. Bookies will back AEK Athens here. Of course, they are at home. They are favoured. Going to go with a 2-0 win once again. For the Greeks, let's go to Crystal Palace as they take on a tricky AZ Alkmaar. That's right. Oliver Glasner's boys are 16th right now, 3 points for them, just the 1 win in the last 5. Up against up against AZ Alkmaar under Martin Martins, the coolest name in town, who've won 4 on the bounce. They sit 21st with 3 points to their names. So both sides on 3 points, both trying to get their second win of the campaign. Crystal Palace on the back of that 3-0 win over Liverpool. As for AZ Alkmaar, big 4-1 win over Utrecht. Bookies will back Palace on this one, heavily so. I don't think it's going to be that easy, but I've got Palace winning it by just the 1 goal, 2-1 winners. In the end, Rapid Vienna, locking horns up against, who are we taking on here? We're taking on University Craiova. That's coming at you over in Austria. It's one of the later kickoffs on the 6th. Rapid Vienna under Peter Stoger sit 35th right now. No points for them. Back-to-back wins, though, in all competitions. Up against University Craiova, up against Mireal Rodoy in the dugouts. Just a 1 point for them. They're unbeaten in the last 4 are the Romanians. They did pick up a 4-1 win this midweek against Shakhtar Cluj in the Romanian Cup there. Rapid Vienna with a 1-0 win over St. Polten in the Austrian Cup. The bookies odds for this one then, shall we? We're going to go with the hosts, of course, as will I. Not much in it, though. 1-0 winners, Rapid Vienna. Dynamo Kiev taking on Zrinjski Mostar, that's right. The Ukrainians and Alexander Shakovsky sit 34th right now, back-to-back defeats. Just 2 wins, though, in the last 6. In fact, back-to-back wins for Dynamo Kiev up against Zrinjski Mostar, who sit 13th with 3 points, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Coming into Zrinjski Mostar on the back of a 2-0 win of Romania Pale up against Dynamo Kiev, who did beat Shakhtar. Of course, we mentioned that earlier in this video. Meanwhile, the bookies will back Kiev, of course. I will go that as well. Going with the draw, in fact. Surprise, surprise. Pulled that one out of nowhere. 1-1. In the end, Vallecano, they're going to be locking horns against Lech Poznan. It's coming over in Spain. Igno Perez is the coach there. Sitting 7th at the table right now, 4 points for them. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6. Picking up 5 wins of the last 6. Up against Lech Poznan and Neil Fredriksson, 14th at the table. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Isn't it to play each other, these two sides? Lech Poznan did beat Grif Solpsik in the Polish Cup this past midweek. Vallecano with a 6-1 win over CD Zunkus over in the Cope del Rey. Bookies will back Vallecano here. Of course they will. They should do as well. Gone with a 2-0 win, but it might be more than that. Into the final stretches, it's Lausanne-Sport up against Omeni Nicosia over in Switzerland. Peter Zeidler is the coach, 4th in the table, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Omeni Nicosia, up against Henningberg, that's right. Ex-Rovers player, ex-Rovers coach in the dugout, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Never played each other, these two sides. Lausanne-Sport losing against Servette most recently in the Swiss top flight. As for Omeni Nicosia with a 2-1 win over Paphos. That was, of course, in the Cypriot top flight. The bookies will back Lausanne-Sport, but it is tight. Very, very tight. Could be a draw, but I'm going 3-1 win for Lausanne-Sport, who are flying high in 4th right now. Let's go to BK Häcken, that's right, as they take on RC Salzburg. It's a bit of a spicy game then, shall we? Of course, over in Sweden. Häcken and Gothenburg managed by Jens Gustafsson. They sit 24th right now, back-to-back draws. In fact, they've drawn 4 of the last 5 in all competitions. They are unbeaten in the last 6. Up against Strasbourg under Liam Rossini, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They're 9th. 4 points at the coming into on the back of that 3-0 win over Auxerre. Häcken with that 2-2 scoring away to AEK most recently. But the bookies will back. The away side here, Strasbourg. I don't think it's that plain sailing. Going to go with a 2-2 draw, point apiece, which does nobody any good in their race for that top 8 spots. Meanwhile, Shakhtar, they're going to be taking on Jagiellonia Białystok out of Poland. Shakhtar Totovo, managed by Yetem Perecki, sit 20th right now, 3 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 4 up against Jagiellonia Białystok and Andrin Simonic, who are 10th with 4 points, unbeaten in this competition so far, just 1 defeat though in the last 6 in all shapes and sizes. The bookies on this one, looking at it, it's a tight one. They're back in the away side here. I've gone with a 0-0 draw, point apiece in the race for the top 8. Lincoln Red Imps, can they follow it up from a win last time around up against Rijeka this weekend, managed by Julian Bezaras as the Lincoln Red Imps, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They sit 22nd with 3 points up against Rijeka under Victor Sanchez, who are 19th, also on 3 points, and then never played each other, these two sides. Lincoln Red Imps on the back of that 3-2 win over Manchester 62. Of course, that was back-to-back home wins. This will be another home match for them. The bookies will back Rijeka. I think I've got to back Rijeka realistically. I didn't see that win coming for Lincoln Red Imps last time around. I'll be surprised if they get another one here. 2-0 winners for the away side on this one. And then finally, folks, we go to Ireland. It's Shelbourne. They're going to be taking on KF Dritta, that's right, coming at the later kickoffs. Joseph O'Brien's Shelbourne are 27th in the table, just the 1 point, just 1 defeat in the last 6. The biggest Dritta, also just the 1, actually 2 points for them, 1 defeat in the last 6. Again, never played each other, these two sides. Coming into this Dritta on the back of a defeat, though. As for Shelbourne, they did pick up a cheeky 3-2 win over Bohemians in the Irish top flight. The bookies on this one, though, back Shelbourne for the victory here. I've gone with a 2-1 win as well to match the bookies. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like heading out of this one. It'll be, of course, Aberdeen still struggling, as are Shamrock Rovers. Then, of course, points on the board elsewhere. AZ Alkmaar moving, still in with a chance of making that top 8, but just outside, well, actually just outside the graphic here. Palace on the move. Nowhere into the top 8, as are Mainz, Vallecano, Celje, Fiorentina, Lausanne-Sport, Larnaca, and Samsunspor, with a 3-way tie at the top of the table. That, my friends, is what I've got for you. So make sure you subscribe, smash the like wherever you are in the world. And of course, remember, we had 40 likes, I think, for this video. I don't even know if it's 40 likes. But anyway, make sure you smash that like. See you soon when we return. But until then,